Welcome to Invest Ed.
Welcome sa Invest Ed. So yung company na i-analyze natin ngayon ay ang company na GLO. Okay? So sa pagre-review at pag-analyze ng stocks, magkakaroon tayo ng idea kung ano yung strength and weaknesses ng company. Malalaman natin dito kung worth it ba pag-investan yung company na ina-analyze natin. Pag-analyze ng company, matitignan natin dito kung maganda ba yung management na company, may moat ba yung company, kaya ba nilang i-sustain yung kanilang utang, and malalaman din natin dito kung ano yung intrinsic value ng company. At syempre, magkakaroon tayo ng matibay na konklusyon at matibay na pundasyon sa pag-i-invest natin sa stock market. So guys, kung ready na kayo, let's start and see you on the other side. Welcome guys sa channel natin. So dito, binabahagi ko yung 7 years of experience ko sa pag-trade ng stocks and Forex and also sa pag-i-invest ko sa stock market. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-subscribe, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga videos na parating at marami pa kayong matutunan sa channel na ito. So maraming salamat!
Globe Telecom, Incorporated provides telecommunication services to individual customers, small and medium-sized businesses, and corporate and enterprise clients in the Philippines. The company operates through mobile communications services and wireline communications services segments. It offers digital wireless communication services under the GLO postpaid and prepaid and touch mobile brands, long-distance communication or carrier services, a range of broadband internet, as well as wireline voice and data communication services, mobile payment and remittance services under the GCash brand, and value-added services, such as inbound and outbound short messaging and multimedia messaging, Infonext, mobile internet browsing and content downloading, mobile commerce, and other add-on services. The company also provides manpower, business process, shared service support, information technology and electronic services, software development, IT system integration and consultancy, and advertising services. In addition, it offers managed voice solutions, such as Voice over Internet Protocol and Managed Internet Protocol Communications, and data, internet access, and data center services, as well as segment-specific solutions for various industries. Globe Telecom, Incorporated was founded in 1935 and is headquartered in Taguig, the Philippines.
Welcome sa market performance ni Globe. Nakikita natin dito for 7 days return, down by 1.3%, while the industries na kinabibilangan niya ay mayroong 1.8%, and the Philippine market down by 0.9%. So in 1 year return, the company versus industries, Globe exceeds the telecom industry. Company versus the market, Globe exceeds the Philippine market, which returned a negative 25.5% over the past year. In terms of price to earnings ratio ni Globe, nakikita natin dito, comparing to the industries, Globe is good value based on its PE ratio compared to the industries na kinabibilangan niya na mayroong 14.9%, while yung Globe ay mayroong PE ratio na 13%. And comparing to the market, Globe PE ratio is in the line with the Philippine market. Comparing to the price to earnings growth ratio or PEG ratio ni Globe, nakikita natin dito na Globe is a poor value based on its PEG ratio na meron 3.5%. So gusto lang kasi natin makita sa price to earnings growth ratio na company na ina-analyze natin ay nasa 1 pababa lang yung kanyang price to earning ratio. So iyang ibig sabihin nun, kapag 1 pababa, it is undervalue in terms of price to earning growth ratio. So nakikita natin dito, it is considered overvalue in terms of PEG ratio. Comparing to the price to book ratio, Globe, nakikita natin dito versus the industries, Globe is overvalue based on its price to book ratio compared to the industries na merong 1.7. Kasi in terms of future growth, the Globe, no, nakikita natin dito based sa 11 analysts na nahanap natin, and in the next 1 to 3 years, based sa estimate nila, yung forecasted annual earnings growth ni Globe ay nasa 3.8%. So in terms of earnings versus savings rate, so nasa red flag tayo sa kanya because Globe forecast earnings growth is below the savings rate ng Pilipinas na merong 5.1%, while the forecasted of analysts ay nasa 3.8% lang. Comparing to the earnings versus market, nasa red flag din tayo sa kanya because Globe earnings are forecast to grow slower than the Philippine market na merong 28.2% per year. High growth earnings also ay nasa red flag din tayo sa kanya because Globe earnings are forecast to grow but not significantly. And revenue versus market, nasa red flag din tayo sa kanya because Globe revenue is forecast to grow slower than the Philippine market na mayroong 12% per year. In terms of high growth revenue, Globe revenue is forecast to grow slower than 20% per year. It's the future return on equity ni Globe, no? Nakikita natin dito na Globe return on equity is forecast to be high in 3 years time na mayroon 23.8%. So nakikita natin na comparing to the industries na mayroong lang 11.4%. No? So nakikita natin na maganda yung kanilang return on equity forecasted. Yung return on equity, ito yung management analysis. So basihan ng management na kung gaano kagaling yung company to produce profit from their raised capital or kung gaano kagaling yung management to handle others people's money. The past performance of Globe, no, for the past 5 years, so may historically annual earnings growth sila na 8%. This is the earnings and revenue history ni Globe, no. Nakikita natin dito from September 30, 2030 na mayroong 92.77 billion pesos revenue sila, earnings na 3.5 billion pesos and net profit margin o profit margin na 3.8%. And i-compare natin siya ngayon, no, na mayroong in June 30, 2020, yung kanilang revenue ngayon ay nasa 164 billion pesos and earnings na 21.1 billion pesos and net profit margin na 21.9% profit margin. Also, no, Globe has a high quality of earnings. And in terms of growing profit margin, nasa green flag din tayo sa kanya because Globe current net profit margin ay nasa 12.9% are higher than last year na mayroong 12.7%. The return on equity ngayon ni Globe, no, nakikita natin dito, mayroong return on equity na 25.5% and in this list na mayroong 11.4% lamang. Okay? Nakikita natin na mas mataas pa rin yung kanyang return on equity kaysa sa industries na kinabibilangan niya. In terms of return on assets, no, si Globe ay mayroong 8.4% return on assets and the industries ay mayroong 5.9%. So, return on assets, kita niya compare sa kanyang mga ari-arian. Okay? And return on capital employed, meron siyang 10.5% last year and in 3 years ago, meron siyang 15.6%. So, nakikita natin na nag-grow yung kanilang return on capital employed. And this is the financial health of Globe, no? Nakikita natin dito, short-term liabilities na mayroong 93.29 billion peso. Ang ibig sabihin itong short-term assets, ito yung assets nila na kaya nila liquidate within a year. Obligations na company within a year. Naman yung kanilang long-term assets, mayroong 249.2 billion pesos and liabilities, long-term liabilities na 146.37 billion pesos. So itong long-term assets, ito naman yung assets nila na kanilang i-convert into cash more than a year, and liabilities, ito naman yung obligations na company more than a year also. So in terms of short-term liabilities, nasa red flag tayo sa kanya because short-term assets do not cover its short-term liabilities. And in terms of long-term liabilities naman tayo sa kanya, nasa red flag din tayo sa kanya because Globe short-term assets do not cover its long-term liabilities na merong 146.4 billion pesos. Sa debt to equity history ni Globe, nakikita natin dito, in 2013 meron siyang 174.7 debt to equity ratio. And now, in 2020, no, in June 30, 2020, meron siyang 176% debt to equity ratio. Nakikita natin na sobrang laki ng debt to equity ratio ni Globe, no? So, ang ibig sabihin itong debt to equity ratio is, in every 1 peso na ginagamit ni Globe sa kanyang operation, 176% nun ay financed by utang. So, nakikita natin na parang laki na kanyang utang, no? Gusto kasi natin makita pag nag-analyze tayo ng company, yung kanyang debt to equity ratio ay nasa 40% pababa lang. Also, in terms of debt level kay Globe, to equity ratio ay merong 176% is considered high. Okay? So, bakit na nasabing high? Kasi katulad nga sinabi ko kanina, nasa 40% lang gusto natin makita ang debt to equity ratio ng company na ina-analyze natin. And in terms of reducing of debt, so, nasa red flag din tayo sa kanya because Globe debt to equity ratio has increased from 119.7% to 176% over the past 5 years. And in terms of debt coverage kay Globe, nasa green flag tayo sa kanya because Globe debt is well covered by operating cash flow by 42%. Interest coverage, nasa green flag din tayo sa kanya because GLO interest payment on its debt are well covered by EBIT 7 times coverage. Balance sheet snapshot of GLO. And nandito naman tayo sa dividend. Okay, in terms of dividend naman kay GLO, nakikita natin dito, mayroon siyang 4.76 current dividend yield, no? So in terms of notable dividend, GLO dividend is higher than the bottom 25%. Mayroon lamang 1.64%. And in terms of high dividend yield kay GLO, no? GLO dividend is in the top 25% dividend payers in the Philippine market, na mayroong 4.6%, while the current dividend of GLO ay nasa 4.8% dividend yield. And comparing to the industries na kinabibilangan ni GLO, ay meron siyang 4.1%. So in terms of forecast dividend yield in 3 years, meron siyang 5%. The stability growth of payments ng dividend ni GLO, no? Nakita natin dito, in 2009, siyang dividend per share na 114 dividend per share, and in 2020, no, in September 28, 2020, meron siyang dividend yield na 4.8% dividend yield per year, and dividend per share na 99.32 pesos dividend per share. Okay? In terms of dividend, in terms of stable dividend, GLO dividend payments have been volatile in the past 10 years. In terms of growing dividend, no, nasa red flag din tayo sana because GLO dividend payments have fallen over the past 10 years. In terms of payout to shareholders or payout ratio ni GLO, no, nakikita natin dito, dividend coverage with its reasonable payout to shareholders o payout ratio, GLO dividend payments are covered by earnings. So nakikita natin na meron siyang 61% payout ratio, meaning nito, 61% na kanilang earnings ay binibigay sa dividendo. And yung the rest are retained earning na lang. In terms of leadership team ni GLO, no, nakikita natin dito, yung kanilang president ngayon ay si Ernest Lawrence Co, na mayroong 11.42 years tenure sa company and ownership sa company na 0.12% and nagkakahalaga ng 335.5 million pesos ownership sa company. And it's the rest of leadership team ni GLO. And in terms of experience management, GLO management team is considered experienced na mayroong 4.8 years average tenure and average age na 59.5 years old. And in terms of board member, no, this is the board member of GLO. In terms of experience board, GLO board of director are considered experienced na mayroong 5.4 years average tenure and average age na 59 years old. Okay? So yung pangunahing tungkulin ng board of directors is pinapangalagaan nila yung kapakanan ng mga shareholders nila or investor nila. And this is the ownership breakdown ni GLO, no? Nakikita natin dito, 77.8% owned by public companies, 15.1% owned by general public, 6.7% owned by institution, 0.3% owned by individual insiders, and 0.03% owned by private companies. So in terms of dilution of shares, shareholders have not been meaningfully diluted in past year. So meaning ng dilution of shares or diluted shares, kapag nag-i-issue ng new share yung company, bumababa yung ownership percentage ng mga shareholders. Okay? And this is the top shareholders ni GLO. So 46.95% owned by Singapore Telecommunications Limited, nagkakahalaga ng 130.7 billion pesos. And susunod sa kanila si Ayala Corporation na mayroong 30.84% and nagkakahalaga ng 85.9 billion pesos. And this is the rest of top shareholders ni GLO.
Okay guys, so alam na natin, no, kung ano meron sa company, alam na natin kung ano meron sa fundamentals ni GLO. So ngayon, titignan naman natin dito yung intrinsic value ngayon ni GLO. Okay? So una, kailangan muna natin ng forecasted net income ng company for 2020. Okay guys, so yung una nating nahanap, no, based sa 10 analysts na nahanap natin, yung kanilang forecasted net income in 2020 ay nasa 21.8 billion pesos net income. Yung pangalawa, no, ay merong 23.1 billion pesos net income. Pangatlo ay merong 22 billion pesos net income. So, based sa tatlo, no, yung pinakamababa na forecasted net income ay ito, no, na merong 21.8 billion pesos net income. So, gusto natin kasi makuha yung pinaka most conservative forecasted net income ng company para magamit natin siya para yung ating intrinsic value na makukuha ay yung conservative lang din. Okay? Now alam na natin kung ano yung forecasted net income ng company. Susunod natin kukunin yung average PE ratio ng company for the past 5 years. So nandito tayo sa BPI trade para makuha yung average PE ratio ng company for the past 5 years. Okay, so ito yung ating PE ratio, Okay, so i-average lang muna natin to. Okay guys, yung average PE ratio ng company ay umabot ng 14.45 PE ratio, Okay, so alam na natin yung forecasted net income ng company and alam na natin yung average PE ratio ng company. So, ita-times natin siya para makuha natin yung future market capitalization ng company. Yung nakuha natin sagot, yung kanyang forecasted market capitalization ay nasa 316.2 billion market cap. Okay? So now, alam na natin yung kanyang future market capitalization. Now, kukunin naman natin ngayon yung current market cap. Okay? So, nandito tayo ngayon sa Reuters.com. Now, kung titignan natin dito sa baba, yung kanyang current market cap ay nasa 278.6 billion market cap. So, ang gagawin natin, i-divide natin tong ating current market cap doon sa ating future market capitalization para makuha natin yung intrinsic value ngayon ni GLO. Okay? Okay, guys, ito yung nakuha natin sagot, nasa 0.88. So, ang gagawin natin, i-divide natin yung ating current price ngayon ni GLO dito sa ating nakuhang sagot para makuha natin yung intrinsic value ngayon ni GLO. Okay guys, yung intrinsic value ngayon ni GLO ay nasa 2,413.63, Yung kanya intrinsic value. Okay guys, so alam na natin yung intrinsic value ni GLO. Ngayon kukunin naman natin yung margin of safety ni GLO. So, ang gagawin natin, ita-times lang natin siya sa 0.80 para makuha yung 20% margin of safety natin sa kanya, which is nasa 1,930.90. Okay guys, so yung summary na pag-aaral natin ng intrinsic value ni GLO, So yung kanyang intrinsic value ngayon ay sa 2,413.63 pesos. Okay? And then yung ating margin of safety sa kanya ay nasa 1,930.91. So yung meaning itong margin of safety, meron tayong buffer doon sa ating intrinsic value or bibili tayo sa kanya kapag yung current price ay nasa margin of safety or below margin of safety. Okay? So, yung current price ng time na ina-analyze natin to ay nasa 2,124 per share. Okay? So, lampas na siya doon sa ating margin of safety na nasa 1,930 lang. Okay? So, kung titignan natin, yung ating potential upside na lang sa kanya ay nasa 12% na lang. Okay? So, kung ma-reach niya yung ating intrinsic value, mayroon pa rin 12% potential upside, Pero, ang gusto kasi natin is minimum of 20% yung ating potential upside kay GLO, So, ang ratings natin sa kanya ngayon ay nasa hold position tayo kay GLO. So, yung summary na pag-review natin kay GLO, nakikita natin dito, yung nakita nating red zone kay GLO as a high level of debt, unstable dividend track record, and yung nakita naman na nating green zone sa kanya, the company is currently profitable. Earnings are forecast to grow by an average of 3.8% per year for the next 3 years. Share price has been stable over the past 3 months. The company's earnings are high quality. Profit margins improve or GLO become profitable. They have sufficient analyst coverage. No concerning event detected. Shareholder not been meaningfully diluted in past year or recently. Revenue is meaningful, market cap is meaningful. Okay, so sa pagre-review at pag-analyze ng stocks, magkakaroon tayo ng idea kung ano yung strength and weaknesses ng company and magkakaroon tayo ng kaalaman, kung ano yung intrinsic value ng company. At hindi lang tayo basta-basta pasok sa company na gusto natin pag-investan. Kasi napaka-importante na alam natin, kung kailan tayo papasok sa company and hindi tayo bibili sa sobrang or higher value ng company. And important, and isa pa, dapat naiintindihan din natin kung ano yung kino-contribute ng company sa ekonomiya and kung ano yung business model ng company. Kasi kung di mo naiintindihan kung anong meron sa company, huwag ka na mag-invest. Kasi sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, you have to stay to your circle of competence. Pagre-review, magkakaroon tayo ng matibay na pundasyon at matibay na konklusyon sa pag-i-invest natin sa stock market. Kung worth it ba yung company na ina-analyze natin sa pera nating pinaghirapan. So, guys, hanggang dito lang muna guys yung ating pagre-review sa company na to. So, and as always guys, invest wisely and see you on the other side.
Hello guys, maraming salamat sa panonood. Sana marami kayo natutunan sa video na to. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-subscribe, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga videos na parating at marami pa kayong matututunan sa channel na ito. So maraming salamat. This is PSE Warrior saying, trade well, trade strong, and trade smart.